G'day and welcome to Mark and Sam After Work. Today we've got the first of our new series, which is the 4AW School, or maybe a better way of putting it would be it's my Mark and Sam, so led by me, our instructional series to go through with precision long range shooting. And very much from my perspective of what we've learned, and I suppose cutting through a bit of the hype. There are the people from the dogma side of the world that have a way that you must do it. There is the sales where the rifle manufacturers, barrel manufacturers, bullet manufacturers, which is you've got to buy their new product to do it. I want to break it down into the physics of what it is. It's how I've always done what I've done. I have designed my own products. They'll be shown amongst there. This is not sales, but they come out of the same place, out of the physics of what's actually happening, which is what makes more accuracy at long range shooting. Getting your physics right so that you do it, the rifle's doing the right thing, you're doing the right thing, spend a lot of time doing it, and then essentially put all that together, the more accurate it will be. Nothing more complicated than that. So with that, I'm going to start with, I suppose it goes with something like this, which is this is the MDT ACC Elite chassis, but it's a modern chassis, all adjustable, all sort of in the right places, with a good barrel, with a good action, with a good scope, all the bits and pieces. You don't need to go here. This physics and logic also comes from something fairly nice and simple. A Seiko 85, timber stock, it still will work in this same thing. It is easier, and one of the things about good gear, it's easier to do, but doesn't make it any more accurate than the old school way of doing it, or whenever this comes from. And I suppose that moves into lever actions, that moves into old Sharps rifles, that moves into everything. The physics is the same. And I suppose that's the bit which I would like to start things off with. I'll always reiterate this is always going to come back to in every shape, form, fashion. But there's two fundamentals that, be a gamer, be someone who doesn't understand firearms, be it, there's a lot of people that don't understand a couple of very, very simple things. One is a bullet doesn't work like a laser beam. And that is that it always is traveling, there is always an arc attached to it. Gravity is always applied, so gravity is always coming there. So a bullet, the moment it leaves the barrel, is always falling. It also is the air affects it. So that means that both pushing through the air, and yes, even a slow bullet is starting off at around 1,000 kilometers an hour. So there's a lot of air friction. A fast bullet is traveling up to 4,000 kilometers an hour. Now I'll go through and find the details what those things mean. When you understand that speed, the same reason that the space shuttle has to have tiles on it because it's slowing back down through the atmosphere. It's not going that fast. It's not dealing with that much, but a bullet deals with that same friction. So it's always slowing down. So a bullet is always slowing. It is always slowing down, it's always falling, and then where the wind is pushing, it's always being guided to. So it doesn't work like a laser beam. You have to adjust accordingly to make sure you allow for where it's going to vary, whether it's wind pushing or it's gravity. So you hold up, further as your shirt further out, you allow for the wind, you've got to hold for the wind. All those things matter, very much matter in the understanding of it. But the other thing is a bullet is not instantaneous. It may seem very instantaneous if you fired a gun that's only been on a 25 meter range or even 100 meter range. It may seem instantaneous, but everything takes time, and a reasonable amount of time compared to light, compared to a laser beam. It's very, very, very slow. But that also means that it doesn't just take time of traveling through the air out there. It also takes time from when it goes click to when it comes out the barrel. There's time involved. So in that time involved, and it's only in the milliseconds, but in that time involved, if the gun does anything, the barrel does anything, the muzzle brake does anything, anything happens in that time where you are aiming and where it ends up aiming, by the time it gets to the tip, which is the last time the rifle is controlling it, by the time it gets to the actual muzzle, so your crown of your barrel, right, the little hole at the end there, by the time it gets to there, any movement that's happened in that millisecond is going to shift it away from where you were aiming to where it actually hits. So those are the fundamentals. Then I'll get into, and what I think I'll do as a series is I'll go through bit by bit, whether it's tip to tail or wherever it is, more relevant to less relevant, every bit of your rifle, of your form, of your the conditions of how the bullet behaves, how the barrel is, how the crown of the barrel is. Every bit of it can affect accuracy. The simple bit of this comes down to a little bit of the right equipment helps, but you can still do it with very, very basic equipment. Certainly the right form, so your shooting form and how your body behaves when it's going through that recoil. That's for that process of the bullets in the barrel for that time. So your form and consistency is the main thing. There's another secret ingredient to all this sort of stuff, which is confidence. Your confidence of your shot. It happens to the best and the worst of people. You become really accurate, you keep hitting the same thing, it's easy to become more and more confident. What actually happens with that is your body behaves better. You start missing, you start to then be less confident, you start to be more tense, and you start to be less consistent. So consistency is the key with this. In other words, confidence is relevant with that. You create that with consistency and with all the other features lining up and working properly. And the other thing with all this sort of stuff, a main ingredient for accuracy is trigger time. The best competitors in the world, the best snipers in the world, the best whoever it is in the world, they don't happen just because they naturally got this innate skill and they're wonderful. It's not that may seem that way. They can always do these things, but it's trigger time. It's out there doing it. That's the other thing. Practice, 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 practice. In whatever form it is. Dry firing a little bit, that's just clicking away without having anything, without it going bang. And that'll help with some parts of it. But actually being out there at the range, being out there and shooting, doing lots of it, whether it's lots of competitions, whether it's lots of work with it, whatever it is, doing lots of it is what's very relevant. So that's it. The next one, like I said, I'm going to go through a list. And yes, everything matters. Bipod matters. Your muzzle brake matters. Your barrel matters. Your crown matters. Your trigger matters. Your action matters. Your scope height. Your butts, how your butt pads set up. All these things really matter, and I'll go through it in detail. But as I'm trying to keep these as short videos, this is where it starts. That's where it is there. Let us all know your comments and your questions below. We'll try and keep a track on that sort of stuff. We'll try and keep a notepad about it. And as I build this thing into it, once we've run a few of them, I'm going to start a list down the bottom there with videos that you can already go and look at, with videos that are upcoming, and try and put together a proper index, as it were, for a training school, a seminar, instruction video series, however one you name it. Maybe that's even, I need to come up with a better name, but something to actually go through and then have a list you can always go back to, you can always point someone to, and then go to the video and, as a lot of people don't, but go below, read the description, and in there we're going to have links to videos so you can actually go through. You want a refresher on this, or you get a mate who doesn't understand this sort of stuff, or you're about to do your own instruction and you want to know another perspective, you can go there and find trigger, find bipods, find barrels, find barrel crowns, find how gunpowder works. Videos I've done previously, but we can do them. I'm going to refine them, make them better, and put it all together in a list where everyone can use. Anyway, that's that one there. Like I said, let us know your thoughts. I hope it suits. I hope it's in the right direction. And thanks for checking in. We'll catch you next time.